How's it going, Godzilla fans, Kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla1964 coming back to you with yet another figure review. This time we're going to be reviewing the Y-MSF 1956 Rodan figure. My bad, I messed up on the numbers. 1968 Rodan figure. Yeah, 1968. Without further ado, let's get started with this Rodan's detail. So with Y-MSF, what I can always guarantee from them is that they do not miss with the detail. I mean, look at this amazing detail work on this Rodan's wings. There's even this little segment here, and there's all this really nice veiny detail. All these little grooves and crevices. I mean, the folds in the wing, it looks really nice, and it's not the same detail on the two wings, so both, it's asymmetrical is what I'm trying to say. The detail on these wings are asymmetrical, which really play off really nicely from each other. Even on the back side, you're gonna have similar detail, but then there's gonna be these added bumps to show Rodan's kind of tougher side of the wing, which is really nice. I mean, that's just the wings. I cannot give this figure enough praise detail wise, because starting at the feet here, the toenails are very nicely detailed. The feet are very nicely detailed with the segmented toes. Then you're moving up the shin. Shin has really nice detail. Moving up the leg, you have a little bit of bumps, and then you have the kind of muscle. I want to call it suit detail, but it's really kind of like these muscly skin fold detail for Rodan here. And you're going to find these bumps all over Rodan's body, which is really cool, like on the crotch area, moving up his body, all over his chest. Speaking of his chest, Rodan's spikes are very well done, and I like how Y-MSF has them kind of facing different ways. It's not all just facing down. It's kind of all over, like it's been bent and kind of been through battle, I guess you can say, which is very nice little details that I always appreciate. I always like the little things, the little details. The bumps are going to move all the way up the neck, and before we get to the head, I want to review the top of the wings. The top of the wings are very nicely detailed. This is very interesting line thing here. And then you're going to find bumps on this side of the wing, but less so on this side of the wing where they're less prominent. The hands or the fingers are a little weird for me. I don't remember his fingers being this big, but I like them either way, if that makes sense. Yeah, I like them, but I don't remember Rodan's fingers being this big. I'm just gonna leave it until I rewatch the movies. But yeah, I like the hands and I like the top of the wing details. Again, asymmetrical, really nice, love it. Now we get to the star of the show, Rodan's face. Rodan's face is pretty much movie accurate in all of its goofiness, because I remember this Rodan looking really goofy, and he looks decently goofy at the same time. He looks really menacing actually, because you have the very nice little nose spurs over here for Rodan. His eyes are very nicely detailed with this kind of scowling look on his face. His beak is very nicely detailed, as you can see here. The beak kind of turns into a smirk here, and then you got little bumps and folds for his cheeks, and going down the neck, the back of the head, there's a little bit of folds as well. And while we are on the back of that, I'll actually move to the top of that instead. Rodan's horns are very nicely detailed. Kind of minimal detail there, although they are spikes, so I'm not sure what more you would need. Moving on to the last part of Rodan, the back of him. While detail is minimal on the back, it's still really nice, where you got the folds here, a little bit of grooving pattern. The spine for Rodan is very nice. I like how it's very ridge-like. It's not just one straight flat thing like the that's the 1956 Rodan figure, where it's just one straight ridge line. This one has a lot more grooves, so it makes him look quite worn and quite battle worn, yeah. Then we have the titular Rodan tail over here, where it ends up like a I don't even know what the heck to call this. I want to say it's like a trident, but it's not a trident. It's like a pentagon. Rodan's pentagon tail. I'm just gonna coin that right now. His pentagon tail, the bumps continue on his tail as they continued from the wings over here. And I mean, I have really nothing else to say about the tail. It's just really nice looking Rodan 56 tail. The underside of the tail is going to be detailed here too. Very, very nice detail. And yeah, that does it for detail. Like I said, Y-MSF does not skimp on the detail and does not ever disappoint on the detail. Love the detail. They also do not disappoint in the paint, because the paint on this guy is really good. As you can see, the wings are painted. There's this really nice shading going on where there's a base coat of the beige, and then there's a bit of shading with this kind of reddish pink paint. The dirt, I want to say dirt red, but it's not quite dirt red. It's all really nice. And it serves to accent the brown paint that's used for the body really, really well. I like that. And then you're gonna have this yellow paint for the spikes and the fingernails and the beak and the horns. I want to say they're all the same paint. Yeah, they are all the same paint. And there's shading on each of them too, which is really, really cool, which makes them look like they're different color, but they're really not. But I will say though, the toenails are different color for sure, where it's more of a brown paint than this kind of yellow paint, sandy yellow, which I really, really like. Paint's really good. On the back of Rodan, you're gonna have this tougher exterior wing, and then you're gonna have this kind of bleed over of the membranous part of the wing over here on the back side, and that's actually about it. Besides, actually the spurs on the back of Rodan's feet are painted very nicely, and the horns are painted very nicely as well, and so is the face with the beak being painted, and it kind of goes from this really nice brown to this a little hint of yellow at the end of the beak, and then into the brown again. So it's I like that. And his eyes are painted very nicely as well, and Rodan's eyes are painted very nicely too. Yeah, no complaints on the eyes or anything. Everything on this figure is really, really well done. Everything on this figure is really, really well done. Moving to articulation, as you've been seeing me move around his head, Rodan's head moves. There are glue seals at the wings. The glue seals, granted, are a little messy, but I'm not really complaining. They are kind of like a third company, kind of LLC. But yeah, I'm not complaining. I still like the figure. Really, really nice figure. Besides the head though, the feet move as well. So you can adjust the feet. If he has a hard time standing, now you can adjust them, which is what I've always appreciated on Rodan figures, especially the 2004 Rodan figure, even though the one I just recently got from Bandai, which released back in 2020-ish, has a defect where its feet are off kilter. I don't know how to put it. I just got to figure it out. But I appreciate that about Rodan figures like this one, where you can pretty much adjust the feet if it has a hard time standing, although that does not compare to Rodan figures where the feet can kind of kick in and out, because that's always my ideal articulation. But enough complaining about articulation for me. Moving on to size comparison, we have him sizing up with the 1964 Godzilla. Nope, not 1964. The 1974 Godzilla, which he fought alongside in Destroy All Monsters. Okay. As you can see, Rodan is pretty huge. He's a bit too tall. Now, granted, Y-MSF figures do not size up with the Bandai figures really well because they're usually a little bigger. So, taking that in consideration, yeah, all I'm going to say is, yeah, they're not meant to size up properly because they're two different figure lines. However, if we are sizing up for playability, it does not affect playability at all. Because even though Rodan is bigger, it looks a little off, but it's still Godzilla. So, and it's not like ridiculously big where Rodan is like this. No, it's a minute detail where he's just a little taller than Godzilla, not movie accurate, doesn't detract from playability, but he's just a little bigger. Sizing him up with King Ghidorah, He still looks a little big, but he is shorter than the Bandai King Ghidorah, so this sizing works really nicely. Doesn't affect playability at all, and yeah, really good sizing for the Bandai King Ghidorah. I will say Rodan does size up perfectly with the Mothra figure, because Mothra and the movie Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, I believe, she does fly on Rodan's back, and this does look pretty movie accurate. Although Mothra should actually be smaller. Again, Bandai, I'm just saying, any future Showa Mothra figures, they gotta be smaller. Even the Heisei Mothra figure, she has to be a bit smaller as well. Again, personal preference, just my 2 cents. But yeah, that does it for size comparison, pretty much. Okay, overall, what do I think about this Rodan figure from Y-MSF? I think it's an amazing figure. I think everything on it is practically perfect. The only thing that might detract from it for some might be the glue seal, but besides that, it's still a really, really good, really amazing figure. Do I recommend you guys pick this up if you guys have a chance to? I actually do, but pick them up from Y-MSF Retailer on Instagram, because I've seen these guys on the aftermarket, like in general, these guys being Y-MSF figures, on the aftermarket going for quite a bit more than one should spend on a figure. So I would recommend getting them from the Y-MSF Instagram page when they become available, because they have this version of him and they had the open mouth version of him, but the open mouth one sold out before I could get any of them, so I ended up getting this one. Just know there are 2 versions out there, just saying. Anyways though, really good figure, articulation's on point, paint's on point. Paint is more than on point actually, and detail, superb. With that being said though, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. If you guys think I may have missed anything, or if you guys disagree with me at all that this figure is in fact not a peak Rodan figure, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And if you guys like what you see on the channel, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. This has been Chanzalana 1964 saying until next time guys, peace.